The next section is representing functions. And number 17, please remember to use your correction sheet so that you can get credit for doing these. Just a reminder, says in which set of ordered pairs is y not a function of x? So remember to make something a function. Let's say this is just a basic function. Whatever x is, you add 2 to it, and that's what's going to come out. So if a 3 goes in, x plus 2, of course, a 5 is going to come out. If a 3 goes in again, a 5 is going to come out. You can keep putting 3's in here all day long, and you're always going to get the same number out. So remember that a function needs, if you have the same input, must have the same output. And remember, input is your x, output is your y. So if you have the same number going into the function, it's got to have the same number coming out. So right here, I've got so which one is not a function? So here, 7, 10, and 5, so in the x row, we don't have the same input. So in a case like that, if you don't have the same input, you automatically assume that it's a function. So the question is asking which one is not a function. Okay, so this one's a function, so that can't be the right answer. This one, 7, 5, and 10, we also have different input, so that one is a function. 5, 7, and 10, we also have different input. So not a function. Look, here we've got 2 7s for our input, but one has an output of 5 and one has an output of 10. Therefore, C, it has 2 of the same input, but it's got 2 different output. So that means that C is not a function. Number 18, which graph represents a function? You remember the vertical line test, which means that if you can draw a vertical line anywhere through the graph and hit it in 2 places, or actually just more than one place, it's not a function. The reason for that is, let's take a look right here. If I drew a vertical line right through this graph right here, okay, this point where it hits it is over 4 and up 3.5, so it's 4, 3.5. This one is over to the right 4 and then down 3.5, so that'd be 4, negative 3.5. So that means, look, you've got the same input because they both have the same x's, but they have different output. So that means that this is not a function. So if you can draw a straight line through the graph and hit it in more than one place, it's not a function, so D is not a function. This one right here, you hit it in 2 places, so it's not a function. This one is a line all the way straight down, so we're basically going to hit it in all these little places, so that's not a function. But this guy right here that just goes straight across, any place I hit him, he's only going to hit the graph in one location. So that means that A is the function. Number 19, at the beginning of the year, Jason had $40 in his savings account. He plans to deposit $60 into his account each month. By the end of January, he will have $60 in his account, $80 by February, $100, and so forth. Write a function that describes the situation. So his initial amount was $40, plus he plans to deposit $20 into his account each month. So 40 plus 20 times the number of months. So Y, the amount he has in his account, is equal to, so the amount of money in his account total is going to be the $40 he started with plus $20 times every month that he adds that $20. So therefore, the answer would have to be C. This one says that he's going to put $12 in per month, so that's not right, even though he started out with 40. This one says he starts off with 60, which isn't right. And this one says he starts off with 60. So that can't be right either. So it's got to be C. Last but not least, which equation could produce all the values shown on the table? For now, I'm just going to use plain old substitution and just try my answer. So this says y is equal to negative 4 times x. So let me try this one first. So that means if I multiply x by negative 4, it'll give me y. So negative 1 times negative 4 does in fact give me a 4, because negative 1 times negative 4 is 4. 2 times negative 4, however, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, not negative 5. So it's got to work for all of them, so that one is not the function rule. Let's try times a positive 4. Negative 1 times 4 is not a positive 4, so that can't be right, because negative 1 times 4 would be a negative 4. So now let's try this one. So y is equal to negative 3 times x plus 1. So that means you can take all these x values, multiply them by negative 3, and then add 1. So let's see if that works. So our first x is a negative 1. So negative 3 times negative 1 is a 3. 3 plus 1, yep, it's the 4 that I ended up with over there. Let's try 2. So negative 3 times 2, well, negative 3 times 2 is a negative 6. Negative 6 plus 1, yep, is a negative 5. Let's try that one last one. So we'll do negative 3 times 8, because that's what our x value would be. So negative 3 times 8 is negative 24 plus 1. Negative 24 plus 1 is negative 23, which is what that one is right there. So we found the function rule that'll work. It is C.